Hello makers, and welcome to Stitchery. I'm Catherine Harris, and if you're new here, I do sewing and DIY tutorials each week. And if you want to find me on any of the socials, you can just search at Stitchery on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So this week, I thought I would share with you a sew-along on the Pleadies 2 dress by French Poetry. One of the things that drew me to this dress is it's nice and drapey, it's a midi length, and you've got puff sleeves. Now I did alter them. Originally they're long puff sleeves, and I wanted them short for summer. Plus you have the option of having this cute little bow, which of course I couldn't resist because bows are my thing. So let's get into the tutorial.
Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum.
The fusible interfacing. So we're going to fuse some interfacing to the bottom of the bodice, and then we're going to move on to the skirt. And what I've done here is I've done 2 layers of long basting stitches, and then you can pull the bobbin threads and it will gather up the skirt. So you just want to distribute that evenly so that we can place them, sandwiching them right sides together with our bodice pieces where we had just applied that fusible interfacing. I'm just pinning these in place, and then I'm going to take them to the machine and to the serger to finish off the seams. Now this dress can be made with a woven fabric, and in fact I think it's supposed to. This one is a knit fabric, so I wanted to make sure I serged all my seams. I've also top stitched along the edge here because I think it gives a nice little detail to it. Now we're on to the back of the skirt here, and I'm gathering it in the exact same way as we gathered the front of the skirt. And I've got my back panel here, and you don't have to put the interfacing on this because it's not cut on the bias, which the other ones, because it forms a V, it's cut on the bias. You want to make sure you stabilize that seam. So I'm just distributing the ruffles here with the pins, and then we're going to stitch that in place. And I've done the same top stitching as well on the back here. And now onto the ruffles, which are one of my fun parts. So we're just going to fold the long piece in half, and then my trick with ruffles is using dental floss, especially when you've got a little bit thicker material that doesn't really gather well and it's a really long piece. I take a wide zigzag and I stitch over the dental floss, not catching it, and then I can pull it. Now onto the pockets. So with the pockets, we are going to place them right sides together, making sure that the pocket bag is facing down, and we're just going to attach them along the notches on these skirt pieces. And now that we've got the pockets in place, I'm going to do some shearing on the back just to cinch it in just a little bit more on the waist. I know it's supposed to be nice and flowy and drapey, but I wanted a little bit more waist definition along the back here. And then now I am going to stitch and serge all the way up the sides and the back. And then to get our shearing, you always want to take the steam of your iron, and it just shrinks it all up and creates a nice ruffled elastic effect here. Back to the ruffles. So with this, we are going to stitch our ruffles on in place after we've gathered them and distributed them evenly along the edge of our skirt here. Now on to the bodice. So we're going to stitch the shoulder seams in place, and then we're going to do the button placket. And so we're going to stitch that on both sides, and then we're going to fold it over once and then a second time, and then we're going to stitch in the ditch along the top, catching that to create our button placket. Next, you're going to add in your buttons as well as your buttonholes. And onto the bow tie. So with this, we are going to stitch only a portion of it. So there's a portion in the middle which runs along the neckline that you're not going to stitch at all, but you're going to stitch from edge to edge on the end pieces. So we're going to have a tube that looks like this, and we're going to take it out on both sides. So I'm just going to speed this up just a little bit so the process goes a bit quicker. I've pressed it, and so you can see that the area that we did not stitch is what I'm attaching to the neckline here. Now I think this goes out of the instructions in the book because I find this a more intuitive way of attaching the bow, so that's what I went with. And I'm just tying the bow here so that we have a nice cute bow. Now on to the puff sleeves. And so I took the sleeves and I am gathering them the same way as the skirt, and I used the large sleeve that was for the long puff sleeves, and I just cut it a little bit shorter. When I make this dress again, I think I'm going to make it even a little bit more voluminous on top just to get a little bit more of that puff going on, which is really on trend right now. And so I'm just attaching this into our arm side, and I will be stitching this in place and then popping it over to the serger to get it attached. And now we want to gather those sleeves. So you're going to want to measure the elastic to the width of your bicep and where it feels comfortable. Don't make it too tight. And then you're going to take a safety pin on one end and you're going to weave the elastic in through all along the dress, along the cuff, and then pull it out on the other side. And then you're going to take it back over to your machine and you're going to zigzag that in place nice and flat. And then you're going to stitch the casing closed when you're all done. And then you'll have a really cute puff sleeve.
There you have it, a nice cute dress for summer. One of the things that I really liked about this pattern is number one, the fit. And it's really true to sewing the trends right now because you have those nice puffy balloon sleeves and you've got nice drapey, almost boho chic vibes going on right now in 2020. So I think this dress really speaks to that with the nice little ruffles going down at the hemline and all the different options that you can have to customize it, from having a collar, having a little peep keyhole, or having the pussy bow tie. My daughter's actually even requested that I make one for her in a white cotton or a linen for summer, so we'll see how that one goes. And I'm excited to make a few more of these. I think this is going to go into my spring summer capsule wardrobe. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your go-to summer outfit? If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And until next time, makers, let's get our Sew-Spiration on.